Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's staying safe and warm on this snowy New England Sunday. Today, I am going to be filming a couple of different videos just so I can stay ahead of schedule with my filming for reviews. The first video I'm going to do today is the supplementary content reviews to our live action and animated Disney movie comparison. We are starting that movie watching series. We started that movie watching series this weekend with the Little Mermaid live action movie. We have previously watched all of the other live action movies, so they've already been ranked. And I wanted to talk about some books that are related to the Disney movies that we're going to be watching. The first one is Part of Your World by Liz Braswell. This is in a series of books that serve as alternative endings to the Disney movies. And it's really interesting in this book because Ursula doesn't get defeated by Ariel. Instead, she lives. And I really liked that interpretation. Of course, if you guys have all seen The Little Mermaid, you know how the movie ends and that Ariel and Eric get married. The ending of this book is pretty much the same, but the plot progression of the story is what would have happened if Ursula had survived her fight with Ariel at the climax of the movie. So this book gets a B+. The next book that I wanted to talk about is Confessions of an Ugly Stepsister by Gregory McGuire. This book is by the same author who wrote the Wicked books, which is what the hit musical with Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth was based on. So Confessions of an Ugly Stepsister is basically the stepsister's reaction to what happens to Cinderella. And this is a more modern day version of Cinderella, I think. Okay, so we have all heard the story of Cinderella, the beautiful child cast out to slave among the ashes. But what of her stepsister, the homely pair exiled into ignominy by the fame of their lovely sibling? What fate befell these untouched by beauty, and what curses accompanied Cinderella's looks? Set against the backdrop of 17th century Holland, Confessions of an Ugly Stepsister tells the story of Iris, an unlikely heroine who finds herself swept away from the lowly streets of Harlem to a strange world of wealth and artifice and ambition. Iris's path quickly becomes intertwined with that of Clara, the mysterious and unnaturally beautiful girl destined to become her sister. While Clara retreats to the cinders of the family hearth, Iris seeks out the shadowy secrets of her new household and the treacherous truth of her former life. Far more than a mere fairy tale, Confessions of an Ugly Stepsister is a novel of beauty and betrayal, illusion and understanding, reminding us that the description can be unearthed and love unveiled in the most unexpected of places. So, one of the discussion questions in this book talks about the issue of charity and how it bookends the beginning and the end of the novel. And I think charity is very important in this book, and to the character of the stepsister, because throughout the story, Clara teaches her stepsister Iris how to be kind and caring and generous, and I think that's a very good moral for this story to have. It's kind of like in the Cinderella animated Disney sequel where Cinderella helps her stepsister Anastasia be less nervous around the baker to admit that she has feelings for him. So if you haven't seen the Disney animated versions of Cinderella, the sequels, I might highly recommend to you the third sequel, A Twist in Time, because I didn't really like Cinderella 2, Dreams Come True. Twist in Time is a better movie, and I really like the time travel aspect of that movie, and I wish that Disney would make that movie into live action, because I think there are so many cool special effects elements that can go into the time travel aspects of that movie if Disney were to ever make it. The next book that I'm reading for this, to go along with these movie comparisons, is Curse of the Wolf King. This is book number 1 in the Entangled with Fae series, which is based on Beauty and the Beast. I just finished reading Kiss of the Selkie, which is a Little Mermaid retelling, and I really love this series of books because it tells a modern day version of all the Disney fairy tales that we're so used to seeing in the animated films. So right now I am on chapter 28 in this book, and I wanted to share my favorite quote that appears on page 194. That must be very difficult for you, not as difficult as being in this body. Once again, a bitter ache floods my chest. Why do you hate humans so much? He looks at me with a smirk. You mean, aside from the obvious reasons that you'd agree with? I gave him a pointed look. Yes, Elliot. Aside from those things, why do you have such a strong prejudice against my kind? I'm sure humans have given you ample reasons, but I want to hear what exactly those reasons are. His eyes fell back to the rose, then grew unfocused, his lips turning at the corners. I was but a pup when humans first came to the Isle, he says. But then humans were visions of visitors on our land, and they acted accordingly. They respected my land, my kind, revered us even. But as time went on, more and more humans came, and they shifted from odd visitors to determined settlers. They built homes, claimed lands that were never theirs. Tensions grew more dangerous until they resulted in the First War. So in this section of dialogue, the Beast, whose character's name is Elliot in this story, is talking to Gemma, who is the modernized version of Belle, about why he doesn't like humans. And I think that is a very cool concept to go into why the Beast doesn't like other people and why he's such a loner, because that's really not explored very much in the Disney film. The next book I'm reading is book 3 in the Lunar Chronicles series by Marissa Meyer, called Cress. I just recently finished the first book in the series. I'm reading the series out of order because book 2 hasn't come into the library yet. So this book in the Lunar Chronicles series focuses on Rapunzel's character. We're not watching Rapunzel for our live action and animated movie thing because Rapunzel hasn't been made into a live action movie yet. I actually think that live action movie is in the works. But the first book in this series, Cinder, is a science fiction retelling of Cinderella, where it's set in 2100 China, and there's an outbreak of a disease that sounds pretty similar to me. I don't know when these books came out exactly, but the plague that is talked about in Cinder, the first book in this series, sounds remarkably to me like COVID-19. And I just thought I would point that out. But I love this series. I think it is very cool that Marissa Meyer chose to reinterpret the fairy tales in this way and add a sci-fi spin on them to kind of combine Star Wars with Disney. because I mean, Star Wars was recent. I mean, Star Wars and Disney are kind of in the same umbrella company now, but these books came out in the mid 2010s, I think 2014, 2015. So I love this series. I think it's one of my new favorite series of science fiction. So thank you for tuning in, and Matt and I hope that you will tune into our video where we analyze the live action and animated movies of Beauty and the Beast, Cinderella, and The Little Mermaid. And also we are going to be reviewing The Nutcracker and Come From Away. So have a great day, everybody.